Great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Oh, and it's especially a great day when I'm joined by the puck bunkers, Darren Boyce and Rocco Zappia, my old sidekick, Rocco and Darren. How are you today, guys?
Great, man. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I know you guys do some great work with your prospect site, the Puck Bunker. And after the show, there, folks, go and hit subscribe on the Puck Bunker. Get these guys over 1,000 followers so they can start making some money for all their hard work. That's you won't regret it. There'll be some great. They do some great video breakdowns on prospects. Rocco scouted with me for a couple of years there, so he's been mentored by me. So hey, the guy's pretty good scout now. It took a while, but no, I'm just kidding, Rocco. Anyway, we're here to have a chat about Mr. Gavin McKenna because I've been noticing on some independent lists lately there. Geez, he's not even. I think there was one that came out recently where he wasn't even top 3, and I'm thinking, I don't know. Is this a case of maybe a case of recency bias? What do you think there, Darren?
Okay, I've had some comments about him since the summer. I think it is recency bias partially. The problem isn't that people had him perceived as that he was like a Crosby-like prospect in the summer. Mm-hmm. I think that's the problem because when you actually watched him play, and again, supremely skilled player, very good at the CHL level, but if you actually dug deep into watching him individually, there's some holes in his game that they're there. I'll say that. I'll say that politely. Like, they're there. And I mean, again, noted London guy that I am, I did watch Memorial Cup, London won again. So it's great to see. But if you specifically watch some of the games that he played against them, he struggled. And he struggled with physicality. He struggled with guys getting right up on top of him. And as soon as they took him out of the game in the first period, especially the final game, like, he was nowhere to be seen, basically. And there's some hesitation that I could see why, what the issue is with him. Like, he's a smaller winger. I think that's kind of the issue that a lot of people are having here. I think he's a little more of a perimeter-oriented guy. Supremely skilled player, very high-end transition play, great power play guy. And he's gone to college where he's playing older guys. Still has a point per game, over a point per game. He's still producing at that level. It's just a harder level. I don't think he should. To me, none of these guys have really passed him, in my opinion. I think he's still the top guy. I just think there's a little more, there's more flaws here than people kind of perceived. I think they're catching up to it. I think that's, in my opinion, what's happening there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I even thought last year when you're watching him, like you say, a 5'11" winger, he's not great away from the puck. He's got some stuff to learn. There's no doubt about it. Like, he's never going to be a great defensive player, I don't think. So there's that. But, people that, like last year, for instance, when they're saying, oh, well, you don't want to tank this year, you want to tank next year for McKenna. And I was saying as early as midway through last year, no, McKenna's not better than Schaefer. He's not, there was this, I mean, hey, the fact is that McKenna put up some amazing stats, right? In junior, and I'll get to them. I forgot to put them up before we got started here, but just mind-boggling his stats. And the thought was, well, he's the next one, but a 5'11" winger, not great defensively. In the finals of the WHL last year against Spokane, he didn't have a lot of points. And then the Memorial Cup, he was kind of held in check. And now in the NCAA, he's not scoring as much. But, he was like 17 years and 3 months old at the Memorial Cup last year. He's, last month, just for an instance, he played against Minnesota, Michigan, and Michigan State in NCAA. That's like playing a good freaking AHL team. Those teams right now, they're so stacked, more especially with the CHL players now coming to the to college. These teams are like not far off of NHL caliber. They're really good. And for a kid that's not even 18 yet, to be expecting him to be just tearing it up, I think people's expectations, maybe they're disappointed, so they're dropping him quickly, a la James Hagens last year, thinking, well, it's going to be just like Hagens. But I got something else. Another stat I'm gonna refer to after we get the great Rocco's take on this. Rocco?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Hagens, because that's kind of exactly where I was going. And I think that he was a guy last year who became at a certain point actually undervalued. And I believe that we're like, no doubt in my mind, Boston's happy with James Hagens. And I think we're risking getting into that same territory with Gavin McKenna. And you mentioned Crosby. I don't think this is Sidney Crosby. You know what I mean? But you could still get a 100-point plus winger that's going to be a first line player and maybe the leading scorer on your team. I just think that maybe, I don't know if this is the term generational gets thrown out. I prefer to use the term franchise. Maybe we're not looking at the number one piece on a team, but maybe he could be the best secondary piece in the world in his prime. I mean, look what Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane were able to accomplish together with two completely different styles of play. And I fear that Gavin McKenna's innate God-given ability is being overlooked, because this is simply still the most talented player in this draft class. Now, with that said, the concerns that people are starting to come up with in terms of maybe consistency with the intensity and ability to kind of get to the middle against bigger guys, like these are accurate issues that we witnessed at points last year. So is he going to have to find a way to get stronger? Yep. Is he going to have to find a way to be successful against massive freak 6'5" men with 230 pounds in the NHL playoffs? Yeah, he's going to have to learn how to do that. But guess what? That just makes him like every other 17-year-old kid. And he's being hammered on for his lack of ability. We talked about this in the summer. It's not going to be all sunshines and flowers here for the guys jumping early to the NCAA before finishing their 4 years of junior. And guess what? What a surprise. The NCAA guys are good, because they're 21, 22, 23, 24, some of them, 25, some of them, years old. They're men, some of them. So it's a completely different level of competition in junior. And if Gavin McKenna had stayed in the and I'm not saying he made the wrong decision, but if he had have stayed in the CHL, we wouldn't even be having this discussion, because he'd have 100 points by Christmas and he'd be the runaway leader for first overall, and it wouldn't even be close. It'd be the same narrative that it was last year, that he's more in this maybe Bedard in terms of the high-end offensive winger. I still believe in Gavin McKenna. This is a supremely talented player that's had the weight of the world placed on his shoulders in terms of expectations, and he's been 14 years old, which is a completely different topic. But you know what? At a certain point, you're going to play against guys that are older, bigger, stronger, and at this current point in time, maybe even better. And this challenge and this kind of adversity that he's going through right now, I think it can only actually serve him in the long run. And I think we're going to see, World Juniors are coming up in a couple of weeks. I think we might be seeing a guy who may be looking to go out and prove something.
Oh, well, that was what I was just going to bring up. Like, for me, you could pencil in somebody ahead of him right now if you want, but I mean, I really think you got to take the factor in that he's been a 17-year-old playing in just a stacked division, a conference right now. These teams are great, but look at this. Just, before the age of 17 and a quarter, McKenna had 210 WHL points. Nobody else has ever done that in the WHL. just by comparison, Connor Bedard, who now is an NHL superstar, 147 WHL points before 17 and a quarter years of age. That is incredible, right? And like, do we forget what he did last year? You shouldn't, because it's I'll get you guys back on, I guess. You shouldn't do that, because it's really important what he does against his peers. And right now he's not playing against his peers, but in 2 weeks he will. He'll be playing against his peers, but also older guys that are a year or two older still. But I would be very surprised if he doesn't have a great tournament. And I think, I get that. Okay, Stenberg's a similar size, so there's a good comparison there, right? Both wingers about the same size. Stenberg's maybe a little more physically mature. He's playing really well in the SHL, which is a good league. McKenna's doing decently as a freshman in a good league, but it's hard to compare the two. And this is going to be where we'll get to the only time this year where the two will be playing the same level in the same event. And I think it will go a long way. Right now, my list is, it's always this way until after the World Junior Tournament, really. The rankings are pretty much irrelevant. You can go back to I really put a lot of stock into the top prospects games, the World Junior Challenge, the World, the World Juniors, and players are getting up to speed by about the midway point, and from then on, I think the rankings are important. But right now, to be saying, oh well, geez, he doesn't have as many points as Hagens did as a, last year or whatever. You got to put it in perspective too. That the fact that James Hagens played with Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault last year, and I looked into the stats. McKenna's been in on 35% of Penn State's offense before turning 18 years of age. Okay. James Hagens, who was 18 for 84% of Boston College's games last year and playing with Perreault and Leonard almost exclusively, he was in on 27% of BC's goals last year. So, if you want to compare them, you've got to dig a little deeper and take into consideration who Hagens was playing with, the fact that he was, he was older than McKenna has been up till now. I bet you, McKenna's still in the top 20 in scoring, but I wouldn't be surprised. You watch. After the World Juniors, he'll come back, and I bet he ends up top 10 in scoring by the end of the year, because the guy is just too smart and too skilled and too proven. I think it's just a matter of him adapting a little more, and it'll help the World Juniors too. I think that level, he'll get his confidence, and you watch out. I bet you in 2026, he'll end up top 5, top 10 in college scoring before it's all said and done. Just too talented. What do you think?
Well, the other thing that I was going to mention there, if people want to go out and compare point totals, that's fine. But we're 15, 16, less than 20 games into the NCAA schedule. Three or four or five bounces or deflections or posted out versus posted in, like the smallest little things. Like, let's factor in, like, there's some randomness to point totals.
Absolutely.
In short sample sizes. So to just say, oh well, Buddy had more points than this other guy, like, that's just lazy.
Yep. What, Darren? What are your thoughts?
A couple things I would bring up here. First, I do actually like that McKenna. Now you can say he got paid to do so, but I do like that he actually went to the NCAA. I think this is actually better for his development in general. I think this is a better situation for him than the WHL is, because he does need to learn how to play bigger, stronger guys. Like, he needs to learn to do that, which is the whole point of this. So I mean, if it's going to hinder his draft position, fine, but like you need to take into consideration, I like the player and the idea that he has here that I need to better myself here. I really do like that. He still has over a point per game in college. Like he's still really good. Like it's not like this isn't like he's, oh, I have 5 points. Like he has over a point per game on a really good college team. And you see the translatable skill on the power play. Like he can play on an NHL power play probably today and be quite good. I have no concerns on that. It's the other parts of the game that he needs to work on, which is probably why he went to college. So it's fine. In terms of the World Juniors, he had a poor tournament last year. Like he was not great. So hopefully that puts, maybe put some pressure on himself to have a good one here, because he could really, I think he could really make a statement here. Hey, remember, I'm still really good. Like this is kind of what, and as a Canada fan, I obviously want that to happen. Very, very much hoping that happens. Wow. I look at the guys around him in the rankings too. Like, I just don't see how anyone's really past him. Like that's like, like Stenberg's played great. So maybe that's the guy. Like Verhoff's been good, but it's like, are you really going to take him over McKenna? I don't know. I think on a couple lists, it was Tynan Lawrence. I mean, he's played 8 USHL games. Like, let's just maybe calm down a little bit. He's a good player, and there aren't many centers. I think that's maybe the thought process there. But it does seem a little overzealous to me that they were just going to drop him out of the top 3 because he has 18 points in 14 college games. Like that's somehow disappointing. Like it's honestly, he's done about as well as I thought he would do, to be honest. I don't think people thought he was going to put up 70 points or something in college. Like that's, how many guys have done that as freshmen? Are there any? Like, I think maybe Jack Eichel did that. I think that's probably recently the most recent guy. Like that's really hard to do. So I'm not as down on him as everyone else. I see the flaws. I'm very aware of what they are. It's just the upside's a lot higher than these other guys. I think that's what you got to look at here.
Well, I mean, he's a good skater. He's got a great shot, playmaking, elite playmaker, vision, all the offensive tools that you want in a kid that has 100-point NHL potential. Is there anyone else in this draft that has 100-point NHL potential?
Probably,
maybe Stenberg.
Probably not. Maybe Stenberg. Yeah, probably not.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's kind of tough. How long you got, Darren? Before
well, I got a few minutes. I'm good.
Yeah, I've got a couple of videos, and I don't know if you want to
stick
around.
I got like 10, 15 minutes. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's have a look here. See what we see. This is him in the playoffs last year. Okay. So let's just with all the recency bias, let's just go back to when he was 17 years and 3 months old. And, I mean, the WHL playoffs, it's not the NHL, but it's pretty good quality competition here. Look at the moves, eh? But just all of these are just, some of the better plays that he made. Is he doing this in the college level a lot yet? No. But give him a year and a half in college, and guess what? He's doing this at college level too, right? I mean, there's an adjustment period here. He's playing against 16, 17-year-olds here, guys his age. Now he's playing against 23, 24-year-olds, as you're saying there, Rocco. Like, this has to be, you can't forget what he accomplished in the WHL.
Well, the other thing is here too, like looking at like some of these highlights here, like the power play stuff that he's doing here still translates at the college level. He's still be able to do these things at the college level, which is impressive. So like, I just can't see how you wouldn't take him first right now. I really can't.
Display.
Yeah. Like I just look at
vision, eh? What do you think, Rocco? What are you seeing?
I mean, I'm seeing the guy who's the most talented player in this year's draft, and I don't see. For me, it's the upside. It's he does things that nobody else in this draft, with the possible exception of Stenberg, but that no one else can do. And that's the differentiator. And you look, sometimes you just got to take
Michigan,
the obvious guy take the guy who's obviously the most talented player.
Yeah.
And I've got all the time in the world for Verhoff. I love him as a prospect. I've got all the time in the world for Stenberg and Lawrence and whoever else you want to name. There's a lot of really talented players and really good players in this year's draft. But I don't see anybody else now or ever pulling this kind of shit off. Pardon my language. But I just don't see it. And ultimately, you have to bank on the things that you can't teach and hope you can round out. Every 17-year-old prospect has flaws, all of them, every single one. So yes, he's not a flawless prospect. This is not the second coming of Wayne Gretzky. So be it. That's fine. That doesn't make.
What do you think of this, Darren?
Like, it's crazy.
As the goalie, how do you stop that?
Sorry, Rocco. I wanted us to comment on that play. Like, I mean, holy.
I just don't see anyone else being able to do the kinds of things that he routinely pulls off. And so he's not 2 points a game this year in the NCAA. Boo-hoo. Is that really what we're gonna like? I don't know. I think it's a little much ado about nothing here. Outside of the top three, come on.
Yeah. I think too, like it was kind of to start the season. It was kind of, he was struggling a bit 5-on-5. I think that's just, and they're like, oh, like, what's this? And like, again, I think he's kind of gotten better. And if you even look at the underlying numbers, like, his Corsi and that, if we're going to go kind of the analytics route, like they look fine. Like it's not like he's like a net negative on the ice. And yes, I know he is a minus, but I mean, he hasn't played. It's almost perceived like he's played really poorly, and I don't really agree with that. Like I think he's played fine. I think he's played quite well. Could he be better? Yeah, I think there's another step, another gear that he has that he can play better.
We give pro guys, like an NHL player signs a big free agent deal. We give him 20 games that first season with his new team to adjust before you start really judging what the fit is and how it works into the lineup. So not only is this kid, who's not a pro yet, he's a teenager, can't even drink, can barely drive. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Can't vote. Okay, so can't get a tattoo. So, and we're going to hammer him because he didn't adjust on game one. He hasn't played 20 games yet. He's adjusting to a new league, a new team, a new country. Like, and not to mention,
still 17.
And not to mention guys like us yapping our mouths about him every time he opens his computer. So I think it's just I think the hockey world is being a little bit harsh on this kid right now.
Well, I mean, I asked NHL scouts and say, what do you think of guys dropping McKenna out of the first place? And they think it's ridiculous, like everybody, they all bring up the point that it's not easy in your friggin' draft year to stand out at the college level. It's, there's teams playing a dump and chase. It's men. It's, different style, adjusting to line mates, adjusting to the speed, size, strength. You're going from playing against 16, 17, 18-year-olds to playing against men, and you're still 17 years of age. Come on, like Brady Tkachuk, even in his draft year, right? What do you have, 8 goals? People looked at it and realized, said, okay, well, it's because he's playing in his draft year in college. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. That like it was pointed out, the last guy that really produced, I mean, other than a freak like Celebrini, obviously, was Eichel, right? And I'll be the first to say, and I've been saying it for a year, McKenna's not Celebrini. He's not that type of player. He's going to be an offensive guy, and that's going to be his forte, but an elite one. Like I think he's got 100-point NHL potential, and you can say, like we say, maybe Stenberg, but McKenna, I'd be surprised if he's not 80 plus most years once he gets adjusted to the NHL. I mean, those stats alone, you have to, like, that's just crazy. Before he was 17 and a quarter to have 210 WHL points. Like, it's, it can't be ignored. And he's still got to get stronger. So he's only going to get better, right? He's not a big, thick kid. He's not already physically mature. You got to factor that in too. It's not like he's the Shane Wright who at 15, 16 was bigger and stronger than he was more physically mature than other kids the same age. And one of the reasons why he was so dominant, that's not the case with McKenna. He's still got to do some growing and get stronger. And his game's only going to improve, I think, as he, look at Connor Bedard, right? His first year in the NHL. Did he, people thought, oh, well, he's not going to be a star. He's only put up 60 points, right? And they expected 100 right off the bat. And then the second year, still adjusting, still needing to get stronger and adapting and learning how to play defensively. Well, this year he comes out of the gate, he's punching people in the head. He's telling them to F off. He's an adult now. And he improved his defensive game leaps and bounds. He's more physical. He's got that confidence, that swagger that he had in junior. Now he's a freaking superstar, year 3, right? So what do you think is going to happen with Gavin McKenna? Canadian boys, right, that have been good all their lives, that, he's a hard worker, friggin', you just know he's going to put in the friggin' time, the effort, the work, and he's going to be an NHL star. I have little doubt about it.
I hope he's pissed off. I hope he's sincerely, like, offended, pissed off, upset, and every other adjective in the book. I hope he's really mad, because
World Juniors, baby.
I'm excited to see what a pissed off Gavin McKenna looks like.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't great at the World Juniors.
He's been the guy for almost 5 years.
Wow.
So
he wasn't great at the World Juniors last year. That's true. But he's also the year before he's eligible for the draft,
I do like that you mentioned Bedard there, because after, again, it's a couple years later, but after last year in the NHL, people were almost saying, well, I don't know if this guy's going to be a star or not. And then he came back angry, and now he's going to be on the Olympic team, it looks like. So,
right.
Like, look, he went to college. He does need to get stronger. Good spot for him to be for that. I think they are going to address, the issues that maybe he knows or is aware that, hey, I need to work on these things. I just disagree vehemently that he should drop from one. And I've been hard on him. Like, I was definitely hard on him in our recording that we had on him, but, like, he's still the most talented guy. I think you even said it. Great shot. He can skate. Like, the creativity is awesome. He can do it at speed, which other guys struggle to do. I mean, he's going to put up points. It's just, as Rocco said, are you going to, at the end of the day, is he going to be the number 1 superstar on the team, or is he a second guy? It's still a good first overall pick. Like, it's still a guy you take there. So I have no qualms taking him there. I disagree with some people dropping him, but
yeah. Well, how would he look besides Celebrini on San Jose? Great.
That'd be awesome.
He put up 120 points with his eyes closed probably when he's 24 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. He's the kid's got special offensive talent, and you can't, you could look at Jack Hughes in his draft year and pick him apart in certain aspects too, right? Like, oh, well, he's not very big. He's not going to be physical. How good is he defensively? Blah, blah, blah. But they're sort of similar. They've got some similar traits, even though obviously Jack Hughes is a center, and that makes him more valuable, draft day or whatever. But there's no centers there's no comparable centers in this draft. I like Lawrence, but come on, oh, he's putting up more points than him playing in the USHL. Let's rank him first overall. No,
It kind of would be a point a game with one arm tied behind his back in that league.
Yeah, well, who got the invite to the World Juniors? They're
not even close. No disrespect to Ty Lawrence, because he's by all accounts probably the best center in this draft. At least this point, it looks like the top guy, or at least arguably
the top group anyway.
Yeah. He's in the top group of centers. So nothing disrespectful against him, but can we just not overthink it sometimes, please?
Yes, Jesperi Kotkaniemi was the top center in his draft group too. So, yeah. Perspective.
I'm just saying, they're in terms of their natural ability, they're not close.
Right.
No, and again, we like Tynan Lawrence, so don't want to slander him there.
No, he's not the next. He's not the Jesperi. He's not the next Jesperi Kotkaniemi. No.
There's first round picks. There's guys that we're talking about, and then there's Gavin McKenna. So
yeah, there you go.
No disrespect to that.
Verhoff too's getting the same treatment, right? He's not, it's not dominating. Well, yeah, dump and chase against men. All of a sudden, he went from the, playing Victoria, being the star, to dump and chase against 22, 23-year-old, Shane Van Sagi's 19-year-old kids with 240 pounds. It's a big diff. It's a big ask, and he's playing top 4 minutes. He's on the power play. He's not starring yet, but he's a hell of a defense prospect too, right? And hey, he also got an invite to the World Junior Camp. I was glad to see Carroll's as well. Because I've loved Carroll since I loved him at Hlinka, and liked what he's been doing so far this year. And I'm glad that those 3 got invites to the World Junior Camp.
Well, with Verhoff, you were saying there he's in college. We kind of said that too, that is probably going to happen here. The point totals are not going to be as high as people are wanting them to be. So they're going to be a little more down. He's younger than McKenna. Is he not? I think he's a year younger, or at least he's a different year. So, guys playing college, playing well.
Yep.
Is he a superstar? No, but he's underaged against everyone there. He's playing great as a top 4 role. Really good player.
Yeah.
I don't think he's Gavin McKenna. I think he's the step below that. But again, this quality prospects.
Yeah.
Rocco, I'll let you talk about Carl's because that's your guy. But we were happy to see him there too. We think he has a good chance to make the team too. So
yeah,
Carl's is, Boyce. I'm just gonna say, might have told you so on that one. But I know you like him just as much now. I'm just giving you a hard time. But we were on him at the Hlinka as well. I thought he was Canada's best D there.
Yeah.
I thought he's Canada's best D at the little prospect showdown with the USA team that they just did, and every time I watch one of his games, he's the best player on the ice. So just don't overthink it. Is he Cale Makar? No. We're looking at 100-point defenseman, Erik Karlsson, Cale Makar? Maybe not, but that's fine, because there's only a couple of those guys in the league, and you look up and down NHL Stanley Cup winning rosters, and there's a whole bunch of guys just like Carson Karls on those teams. And ultimately, that's what I'm drafting for in my fictitious team that I run. But in theory, that's what I'd be drafting for, is a guy like that. There's not really a flaw in his game. And equally, I don't feel like he has a ton of questions necessarily about upside. You're not looking at a pure shutdown defender, is what I'm saying. This is a guy whose offense, you see it, and you've seen it last season and over the summer. In small spurts, once in a while, he'd make a really good play in the offensive zone. I'm like, okay, well, that was really smart. And now it's coming. That part of his game is developing. He's activating a lot more in the offensive zone. He's getting a lot more puck touches than he had last year. and we're starting to see him turn into a pretty good guy on the power play too. So this guy, I think, he just plays such a sound two-way game, such a sound defensive game, and such a good defender so young. That kind of like how Pietrangelo probably could have put up a bunch more points in his career, but he was so good at everything else that he just didn't. Became more of a 50-point guy, and I think that's just a compliment to him to how good he was all over the place. Karls was so good defensively and just as kind of a get the puck back and move it out of the zone guy that, you know, maybe he wasn't leaned on offensively, but now he's in his drafter. He's got more confidence. The more he plays with the puck, the more that offensive game is coming around. So I don't know that there's not more offensive upside than people give him credit for. Yeah. And I think, you know, at the start of the year, it's like, okay, this is an excellent mobile defender with some snarl to him, and hopefully he can become a two-way guy. I think now we're looking at this is an excellent high-end defender with some snarl and mobility who is going to be at least a two-way guy. And I think, could this be a guy that ends up being able to run your second power play and is smart enough to move up in a pinch to your first if a guy goes down or whatever the case may be, or you're defending a lead while you're on the power play. I think this is a guy that looks like a plug and play all situation type defenseman. There's not a lot of guys who are truly that and can be excellent in three zones. And
no, I think
Carson Karls.
I think he has a legitimate shot of being the top defenseman taken in this class. And I started saying that a month ago, and I didn't see anything different in the top prospect game as you said, and even Craig Button brought it up, said, you know, don't be shocked if he's the first defenseman taken, and I commented on it and said I agree. You know, like he's right in that class with Reed and with Verhoff, I think, where, you know, you can take your pick which you like better. I think most lists now have Verhoff. He's kind of been the guy, but I don't know that Verhoff's any more of a going to be any more of a point producer, certainly an assist guy in the NHL level. He maybe has a better shot. Maybe he'll score some more goals, perhaps. But I don't see a lot more offensive upside, I don't think, in the long run with Verhoff than I do with Karls. And Karls is just he's a natural skater. He's a beautiful skater. So.
Also, one more thing too, and Boyce, I know you probably want to add to it, but of the top group, and Grant, you just named the Verhoff, Reed, Karls. I'll throw Schmidt's name into there, at least for me. He belongs in that group. But of those four guys, the separator to me for Karls, and I'm not saying the rest of these guys lack this trait, but I think Karls has elite hockey sense, and he's so smart out there. He picks his spots so well. When to really go out of his way to make a big hit, when to make a more aggressive pinch in the offensive zone. Like he plays low risk, but also when he sees an opportunity, he jumps at it, and that's a sign of a very mature thinker of the game, and especially as a defenseman, that's very, very important. You see at the NHL level, defensemen, oh, well, why did this guy get drafted here? Like he's such a smart player, and he became this because of his brain, right? I think you could see that with Carson Karls. I really think this guy reads the game of hockey extremely well.
You just said it there, the brain, right? It's the consistency of his games, probably the major it's the difference between, I think, all these guys. He's just always consistently very good. And the fact that you can be consistent that way is coaches are going to love you and play you into the ground. If you just throw the same consistent game out there all the time and you don't screw up and you just make the right play, and if the offense comes, then the offense comes. Like you're happy with what you got there. The baseline of this player is really good.
Yeah,
like I think like it's a player, and then if the offense comes, then you're talking about even a higher level guy here in terms of what he can contribute. So I think, again, we have to do our rankings again soon. We have him inside the top 10. Like we do really like him. So
you better.
Yeah. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I've had him top,
but again,
I've got him top 5, you know.
Yeah. He's definitely And I mean, he's worthy of being there for sure. And we think
Okay.
He should make Team Canada, and I think he might be their most consistent, best defensive guy.
Hope so. I know you got to get going, so we'll end it on this with you, Darren. Just what do you being a kind of a goalie guru? What do you think of Fowler getting called up and making his first NHL start tonight in Pittsburgh?
Well, let's just say this: the Habs need a guy to run with this job. Let's see what this guy has, because he is a very good goaltender and he has performed well for a while now. Give him a run. Give him more than one game too. Give him a few. Let him run with a couple of them here. This could be their starter for the next decade if you give him the opportunity to run with this, because I'm not worried about ruining him. He looks like he's got the mental game. He looks like he has a good makeup here. It's a different level of hockey, but throwing a guy into the fire, you're going to learn what he's all about here at the NHL level. You're going to learn a lot about him. He's going to learn a lot about himself too. And Montreal's not an easy place to play goalie, as we've seen in the past. They did run Patrick Roy out of town at one point. So, but I think this is, again, I think the Habs stole him. I think is a really good, great again. The Habs draft well. Sorry, as a Sens fan, it upsets me that keeps happening. Yeah. But again, third round pick. They found this is a quality goaltender starting. 1A upside here. Like, this guy could be a starter for them. And honestly, I think he's going to play well. I don't see, there's no evidence here that he's going to struggle with this opportunity, really.
He's got the right mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if he was, if Ottawa had him in the system and the way their goalies have been playing, do you think they'd have called him up by now too?
I would have, but I'm uber aggressive when a goalie's struggling. If a guy's playing well, bring him up and play him. Like, use the orange, play them.
Yeah.
So,
Darren, I will say, Darren is a big believer. I've heard this for the last 15 years that we've been friends, but Darren's a big believer in play the hot guy. Why are you taking him out if he's playing well? So much
like winning games, play him.
Don't overthink it. Much like McKenna, just don't overthink it.
For sure.
I'm no goalie expert, but Fowler strikes me as the kind of guy that every time there's been a big game situation or a big test to his, that's, again, not a goalie expert, but I do put a lot of stock in a big game. That's why I love Carter George so much, right? When the pressure's higher, he steps up. And Fowler strikes me, every time the pressure's high, the guy.
Well, it's like I've seen people talking about Carter George. Well, these goalies have better. But Carter George is the guy, man. He's the big. How many times has he done it for Canada in the past? You got to take Carter George and you got to start him. I'm sorry. It's just, that's the way it's got to be.
Not even a debate.
He's
the obvious starter, is he not?
I don't think so, but some people have mentioned, because Ravensburgen's had a really good year. I think that's kind of why. So's Ivan Kovic, whereas George's numbers aren't as great. But
right. But
what do CHL numbers have to do with goalies at all? Almost.
Well,
it is how you're playing coming into the tournament, though.
Oh, I know, but Darren, you look at guys with great goalies who have 850 save percentage, and a guy who never plays game pro is over 900. Like, it's junior, it's system, they're flawed. Like, there can be 8-7 games in junior, and the goalies can do nothing.
Carter George should start Rocco. It's okay.
Well,
like,
who's going to be the starter for Canada at the Olympics?
Darren Boyce.
Thompson.
Well, it's probably going to be Binnington. Why? Because he's he'd been there, done it. Same thing with friggin' Carter George.
I think they will give Binnington the first start there, but
it will.
I wouldn't be shocked if they moved quickly on.
No.
There. Yeah.
Although I did, I did watch the game the other night against Montreal, and he was pretty good. So
he can
be great.
When he keeps his head screwed on straight, he can be one of the best goalies in the league.
Right. And he wasn't even that great last year, right? Going up to the tournament, but he was very good when
say this about him. There's no worry.
He knows how to dial in a big game.
Yeah. Like, you're not worried about the lights being too bright, right? Like, that's kind of the work. So speaking of Fowler,
exactly.
Like what evidence do you have that the lights are going to be too bright for him? Like,
You
nothing
don't.
really. Like, he succeeded at everything he's done. Why can't he succeed at this?
He's got it in junior, college, and pro so far. His last 5 years, 750 win percentage. All he does is win. So,
sometimes you're just good.
Yeah. All right, Darren. I know you got to get back to work there. Thank you so much for joining us. Rocco, can you stick on for a little longer? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
See you guys.
Thanks, Darren. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Darren Boyce, half of the puck bunker, along with this Rocco fella here. I have some more video here. We've got
even better than you were the first time.
This is Penn State versus Minnesota from a couple of weeks ago. They're on break there now. Well, they always do that for the World Juniors. It's kind of cool. Give them a good break, eh? But this is basically the most notable plays from that game. And, like I say, away from the puck, you're not, I wouldn't call him a puck hound and a physical player and a hard back checker and all that stuff. And he wasn't that way last year, but that's not what you're drafting him first overall for, is it?
No, I don't think so. And here's the thing about defensive play and back checking ability. A lot of it is just choosing. So
Yeah.
he doesn't lack does he lack the physical tools to be able to back check hard? No, he just needs to get his ass motivated and do it. And a lot of guys who are teenagers don't do it consistently and pick and choose when they want to do it. And he's no different. So he can learn, because at some point he'll have some coach who refuses to not let him, right? And that's going to be your ticket to getting points is to work hard both ways, or you're just not going to be effective in the NHL. And he's too good not to figure it out, right?
Well,
matter
Connor Bedard in his draft year, Rocco was on the ice for there were games it was 5-6 goals against, right?
Well,
and you said, but you got to kind of put that aside for a kid that's as skilled as he is, because you know that it's going to come. It's just he was asked to play an offensive role, and that's what he did. There's a nice play, eh? Geez, even at this level, you can see the smarts and skill, the edges, the skating, the vision. It's all it's all present, right?
No.
And in this game, they won the game 2-1. As you'll see as it goes along here, he picked up 2 assists. So, it's been in on 35% of Penn State's offense as a 17-year-old. That's not very common. So people that were expecting, 2 points per game, maybe in the second half, I wouldn't be surprised, because I keep seeing I see plays here that he makes, and especially on the power play, where he's going to be very dangerous in the second half. I have no doubt.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and maybe 2 points is a bit much, so, but I agree with your point. And people need to keep in mind too that the NCAA is historically a much lower scoring league. This is not a run and gun league, and it never has been. Goals and points are really hard to come by, and being over a point a game as a 17-year-old is nothing short of impressive. So again, like you said, is he maybe going to win a Selke in his career? Maybe not. Might not win a Selke ever. But how many guys are going to be able to go in and score a point a game or have 100+ point upside, right? And can you get his defensive details and commitment to the point where it's good enough that you can throw him out over the boards every time you have an O-zone face-off for the rest of his career? Yeah, you could probably get it to a point that's good enough. And a lot of that's on him to just put in the time and the commitment to doing it. And I have no doubt that he will when he gets to pro. You have to. Every guy does it. So I don't know.
That was a nice shift there, right? Were you watching?
No kidding. And like you can see it here when he has control of the play, he knows how to buy himself time and space, even against these bigger, stronger guys. Like, look at that. There's no way that any other guy does anything with that puck other than dump it in. And look, Pike gets a
created a great chance.
1-on-5. And that like I'm looking, I saw a play, I'm like, okay, dump in because there's lines changing. No, like, and he's doing this against guys 5 years, 4 years older than him too. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, at the World Juniors, that's I think he's going to pop at the World Juniors. I really do. I think he'll be one of the forces at that tournament. Look at that pass too, eh? Like that's underrated. Just how he just put it exactly where Serrato, right?
Well, yeah, it looked like he was setting up for a shot there, and then slides
exactly.
it over.
Yeah, the feint too, right? That he really made it look like he was going the other way, and then just right on the tape for a perfect one-timer.
Like, there you go. There was a turnover at the ozone blue line that you don't like to see, but like, guess what? The last 3 times we watched him try to make a play like that, he gained the zone and created from it. So you're going to have to take some of that, right? Eric Carlson never became a 100-point defenseman by making conservative plays all the time.
That's right.
So you're going to have to take your lumps a little bit with an offensive player that really likes to try things. But again, he's 17, and as he gets older, when he's 23, 24, he's not going to know how to pick his spots a lot better than he does now.
Right.
Really? Like, I just refuse to believe this narrative that he somehow played himself out of the top spot in the draft.
And at the end of that shift there, he almost scored a goal anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like I showed the good and bad. Like I'm trying to show, the good and the bad here, right? And yeah, he had that turnover, but then at the end of the shift, he came damn close to scoring a goal. And here, like, where is he, right? Like he can be a little lackadaisical on the back check, so you're not crazy about that, but I think that'll just be the pace of the NCAA game too, right? For a friggin' 17-year-old, it's going to take time. He's got to get stronger.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first offensive winger to have defensive consistency issues in the draft year.
Absolutely not. Maybe Danny Heatley had a little bit.
50-07.
But there again, nice. He's got really nice pivots. Edges are great. Very quick. You have to love his skating. Already definitely an above average skater at the college level already, which is nice to see. So I just, I see all of the things that all of the offensive tools are prevalent, are apparent here. And look at this.
Jumpins.
Nice too, eh? Yeah, if he'd have put that in, you think that,
I'll be all over the highlights for the next 6 months.
All of a sudden he'd be number 1 on all these independent lists again, right?
Yeah, I just don't see how this isn't just by far the most talented guy. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I do like Stenberg quite a bit too, and so do you. But
me too. But even I don't know. I don't know about Verhoff and Lawrence above this kid.
Right.
And they're nice pieces. They're really, really nice pieces. But I think they're pieces where this guy is part of the foundation.
Yeah. What was going on with Belkitz at that freaking top prospect thing? Pretty disappointing, eh?
Yeah, it was like he didn't play his best. That's and he even said that himself. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to maybe you just didn't have your best stuff those 2 nights and read into that one. Well, you don't want to put. I try to look at those games as kind of who uses them as a chance to improve their stock and try not to hold it too much against the guys who don't stand out, because not everyone can be at their best every single night. And a guy where you've seen it before, you've seen it from Belches before, how good he can be. So let's look at the body of work for a guy like that. And now,
absolutely,
if he plays like that again, maybe in the playoffs or something, maybe you look at it as maybe more of a concern. But I would just say
a little more. I put a little more stock into it, Rocco, than just a game. It was 2. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Like 2 mediocre games. So that does raise a bit of concern when the house is full of scouts. You know, the building's full of scouts, and you have 2 poor games.
Yeah,
So
no, it certainly wasn't his A stuff. But
right.
Equally, I don't see a dominant first line player there anyways.
Well, no.
I don't know if this is with Belcher, I don't know if this is the play driver. Anywho, so did he play his best? No, he didn't. But am I some super massive disappointed based on relative to my expectations? Not really.
No, but I did, I did have him. I did have him top 5 going into that, and after I had Carroll's, who I kind of liked a bit more probably anyway, but it kind of solidified it for me that, okay, I like Carroll's more than I like Belkit's, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't move him down a whole bunch. I didn't move him from 5 to 15 or something like that. But a couple of guys jumped ahead of him for me that were playing in that game that, and I mean, that's, hey, we're talking about November, right? November rankings, and that could change completely. The OHL playoffs will mean a lot more to me. I won't remember those 2 games come the OHL playoffs, right? That they'll be in the far in the past, and what these guys do in the playoffs and at the U18s and stuff like that will certainly count more than what I saw there. But I mean, it's all you piece it all together, right? You try to remember what happened at those 2 games, what happens down the stretch here, what happens in the playoffs, and try to come up with an accurate ranking, which is always, it's fun. It's difficult, but it's fun, right?
Yeah, and for me right now, I have them somewhere in that group from between 7 and 12, 7 and 13, in that range.
Yeah.
There are guys for me who have, like you said, solidified their spot as being maybe more a foundational piece possibility, but still a 6'5" winger who can get up and down the ice and has a ton of skill. So there's still a lot to like here. With this guy, and like you said, you're not moving him down to 15, but he just might not be in the top 5.
Yeah, and a kid that has been disappointing and wasn't, didn't help his stock again either at the at that tournament, I thought, was Rubrek. I mean, going in to the year, he had 49 goals last year, and you thought
like he could be a top 3 pick.
Yeah, well, that's what you thought, but he hasn't looked like it so far this year.
He played a minute and a half in that second game.
Yeah, well, he deserved it after that first game, but yeah,
it's a showcase.
I know. Well, no wonder he was so invisible then, eh? The second game. So you haven't seen those games where he's just kind of lazy and not doing anything?
He's not anywhere. He can't even see my top 10 right now.
Okay, no, all right, yeah.
He's not even in. We're not even discussing him for the top 10 at the moment. We're discussing first rounder at this point, honestly.
Well, and that's a kid that had 49 goals at 6'4" or whatever. Like, what the hell is going on?
Well, that's my question: is what the hell is going on? Something's going on. It doesn't disappear overnight. So I don't know. I don't even want to speculate if it's on ice, if it's off ice, but there's something not right, because you've seen him for the last 2 years with consistent, steady improvement. He looked great coming out of midget, looked great his first year, 49 goals last year. And I'm like, okay, this kid just keeps getting better and better and better. And I don't know if it's effort. I don't know if he's sick of this. I have no idea, but something's off.
Yeah. Well,
and that's all we can say is it's you watch him and it's not the same player that you saw last year. That's not even a lack of progression. It's a downward step. So sometimes you see this, and sometimes by the time June rolls around and teams have talked to them, there is some sort of explanation in a kid's draft year why this happens, and other times there's not. So I'm hoping that there is some kind of explanation for his sake, because if it's just not giving a crap, that's tough. I hope he gets going here because he's a supremely talented prospect.
Yeah.
But right now looks more of a debate whether he's a first rounder or not, rather than if he's a top 10 or not, because I don't think that's even in the conversation at this point in time, which is unfortunate. I love him.
Yeah.
I said this summer, if this kid takes a step, this could be the second overall pick with his size and skill. And now that looks like a bit of a silly comment, but you don't know. But that's the type of ability that he flashed, right? Where it's like, oh geez, this guy, we're talking top 3, top 5, top 10 pick. Don't know what happened, don't know where it's gone. I hope he gets it back here in the second half.
Rocco, Zappia, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'm going to put up in the description, I'm going to put up a link for the Puck Bunkers website. And as I said at the outset, give these guys a watch and subscribe. Get them up over 1,000 friggin' subscriptions so they can YouTube start paying them for all their hard work, because they certainly deserve it, and they put out really good products. So Rocco, I really appreciate you joining us, and hey, during the World Junior Tournament, I'll have you and Darren on a couple of times, I'm sure, and we can talk junior hockey, which is hey, my second most favorite subject to the Habs. So
yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite time of year for hockey. It's just the pureness of these kids when they put that international jersey on for their country. It brings out the best in the whole. It brings out the best in all of them there, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to watch the raw emotion. Look, you're never as intense as you are around that age. Everything's new and exciting, and it's the first time they've been on this kind of stage, most of them. And
I love it.
It's pure. It's awesome. So I'm really excited, and I appreciate you having me on. It's always nice to get back together and do an episode here and there.
Okay. Thanks a bunch, Rocco, and we'll talk soon. Maybe we'll get together for a Canada game.
I would look forward to that.
You know, head out to a pub somewhere and watch the game like we did. That was under 18s.
Under 18s. Hockey and pubs, they tend to go pretty well together. So
they do. Okay, it sounds good. Thanks, Rocco, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay. Rocco Zappia, folks. That was great. Have on both Darren and Rocco and talk some Gavin McKenna, because it's been funny to see him getting sliding down some rankings, and I think we all agree that just wait till we see what he does at the World Juniors, because I really think that'll be the best test for him. You say like how's he look against his peers more so than how he looks in college hockey. So tonight the Habs hoping to get back on track again. It seems like they've really struggled recently to put together any kind of consistency. I think the Hugo finally had enough there and said, okay, let's call up. They didn't even wait till the end of the game, right? Hugo's on the phone calling. Owen Beck said he got a call like 10 minutes before the end of the game. SOS. I don't know if it was like a call or a telegram. SOS. We need you, help. And I guess who knows with this Jake Evans thing? How often have we seen this in the past where, well, he's gonna maybe miss a game, then he's gonna go get a second opinion, and then all of a sudden it's like he misses 2 months or something. So I don't know what's going on with Jake Evans, but right now, clearly with Veleno, Beck, and Kapanen being your bottom 3 centers against a Pittsburgh team with 2 of the best centers, over the past 15 years in hockey. As Brian Wild always used to tweet out, "Win the middle, win the game." It may be a tough task tonight, and what's going to have to probably happen for the Canadians is that their goaltender is going to have to come up big, and it just so happens that just like Ken Dryden, just like Carey Price, just like Patrick Leroy, his first NHL game, his NHL debut, will be against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And let's hope that history repeats itself here, right? Let's hope that for whatever reason, if you are a goaltender in Montreal and your first game's against Pittsburgh, you go on to be an NHL star. So let's just see. Malkin's out for, that's right, Malkin's not playing tonight. He's out week to week. So, hey, maybe the middle won't be as lopsided as it looks at first. Certainly not a lot of experience down the middle for the Canadians tonight, and you got to hope that the kids come through. Kapanen's going to have to be solid. They've got just a sec here. I'll see if I can find the what looks like the lineup. I hear that Struvel's going to be is in the lineup, and is it right that Jack-Eye is going to be replaced by Engstrom? Is that has that been confirmed? Because I think I saw something concerning that. Hayes is playing in his spot. Okay. So this was the one change that you'd see here then. I think those are what the forward lines are going to be tonight. But I guess Struble will be with Hudson, and then Engstrom and Carrier, third pairing. So I don't mind the I think it's tough to ask Engstrom to play a top four role tonight beside Hudson, two left defensemen going up against Pittsburgh's top six. It might have been too much of an ask. So what you'll likely see is Struble, Hudson again, and then Engstrom with Carrier. Put him with the vet and hope that Struble has a bounce back game from the last one. I know he the one obvious one there, right, where Point schooled him, but Braden Point he was one of the first six named to the Canada's Olympic team. He's no slouch, and it's not the first defenseman that he's burned, and it won't be the last. So it's not like Struble was doing it all game. You just tend to remember the bad ones and kind of focus on that, right? We've got 500 live viewers, 512 live viewers on X and 33 on YouTube. Hey, I'm going to be on for a little bit. I'm going to start to answer a few comments here and questions. If you want to weigh in on what's been said in this HabsCast, join us on YouTube. Join the live chat. It's a great group of Habs fans, and let's talk hockey, Habs hockey. Yeah, I disagree, Vidak. We always disagree with each other. Oh, well, that's good. Good that we can't all be on the same page, right? No, Struble still on a whole has played better than Jack-Eye this year. It'll be interesting to see how he performs at the Worlds. Yeah, that's a big. I think he'll be great. Yeah. Yes, I think the main point of what you said here, Montreal MUFC, is that it's one man's opinion. I'm not going to go into what I think of that one man's opinion either. I remember when Sean Couturier was number one for a while, but then dropped. Yeah, but that just because guys drop sometimes doesn't mean, I remember when Angelo Esposito was number one, but dropped. I remember when Shane Wright was number one, but dropped. But do you drop a guy because guys have dropped before? No, that's not, that's not the reason. Does Canada play Sweden this year? Be a good time to compare. Yeah. They aren't usually in the same group. People knew Kachuk was a kind of mean mofo that would get fans on his side while opponents would hate him. Pretty much. Well, thank you, Sheldon. Yes, one of his years was cut short because of COVID, but there was still a difference in point totals between the two. It was the fact is that Connor McKenna outproduced Bedard before, and he didn't actually miss that many. Well, I mean, he was like 15 years of age, right, when COVID hit, so it's not like he was going to be putting up as big a stats, although he was still freaking lights out even at 15 years of age. But yes, that was that it helps balance the ledger, but still 70 more points than anybody else in the WHL before the age of 17 and a quarter. Like that includes Doug Wickenheiser, Mike Modano, a lot of really good WHLers. It's pretty impressive. That's a good point. Everyone was awful at the World Juniors last year. I see something teal here. Samurai Knight. In honor of Fowler getting his first game tonight. I'll drink water to that. Might even crack one after the game tonight. And no, I'm not going to pour it over my head. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it. I appreciate the donation. Let's get to a few more here. Binnington will start the Milan tournament, but I hope Cooper will pull a plug quickly. Well, it's not the first tournament. Brodeur got pulled and Luongo went in. Curtis Joseph. There was one tournament where the starter didn't end up. The guy that started game one didn't end the tournament. Carey Price went the whole way through in 2014, but no, there's examples. They won't be. They won't be patient with the goaltending at the Olympics as Marty's been with the Habs goaltending this year. And I don't know what you thought of his comments about, oh, well, give him a look and stuff. But I don't read too much into that, defending his other two goalies. That's what coaches do. They don't throw other players under the bus, right? He's not going to say, oh, yeah, well, they suck. So that's why Fowler's up. But he's not going to say that. I don't read too much into what coaches say when it comes to stuff like that. He's just protecting his guys. What do I think of Caleb Malhotra as a possible center for the Habs? Well, not if, I hope they don't have a chance of getting them out, because if they do, it probably means that they missed the playoffs. Yeah, I'd like to have Malhotra, but it's not like, they've got Kapanen, Hage, Jarofsky, Papanicus, Jack-Eye. It's not the end of the world if they don't get a Caleb Malhotra this year. Will Malhotra be better than Jarosky and Hage at center? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know that he has any more offensive upside than those two, but I don't know if either one will be centers, but yeah, I wouldn't mind getting him. But at the same time, is he going to be better than young centers that the Canadians have in the organization already? That remains to be seen. Good, nice prospect though, and yeah, it'd be great to get him if maybe move up. Hopefully they make the playoffs and then move up to get him, something like that. That'd be the best case scenario. I think McKenna figures it out. He's too damn good. Well, figures it out. He has 18 points in 16 games as a 18-year-old. Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, he's already figuring it out. And maybe he won't get 2 points per game after he returns, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's a point and a half to 2 point per game guy the second half of his college career, or like his college freshman season. No, those are good points, Jake. Oh, I don't know. Got to miss the video game awards tonight. He's got to support Fowler in his first game. Yeah, I'm going to miss the video game awards tonight too. Yeah, we have something in common there, Sammy. I don't know. There could have been a Tiddlywinks tournament, and I'd be missing that. But hey, to each his own, my friend. Jack, I put in the press box tonight. Struble still plays. Are we overreacting to the one? People love to just overreact to one bad play. In general, Struble's been better than Jack-Eye this year, and because of the last game, he got burnt once by a guy that's one of the top first 6 players added to the Canadians Olympic team, and he's got to be out of the lineup forever now. Like, he's been, on the whole, he's been pretty solid this year. He's a better skater than Arber. Pittsburgh's a fast team. We'll see, but I think you need a physical presence with Hudson, and I don't mind the Struble-Hudson pairing. 85 to 90% of the time has been good. So I know recency bias. We remember him getting burned for a goal against a really good player in Braden Point, as I keep bringing up. But, on the whole, this year, I don't think it's been close. I think Struble's been a lot steadier than Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye, don't forget, in the last 3 games, too, has taken a couple more of those standing still hooking penalties, right? Anyway, but that's my opinion. I just think people are overreacting to one play a little too much, and we have a tendency to do that sometimes. Okay, well, we're gonna. All right. They need to bring up Reinbacher, and everyone can play the side they should be playing. I know. I would have called up Reinbacher. I'd even, goal differential. Carrier's in the 700s, one of the worst in the entire league. I would seriously consider bringing up Reinbacher and replacing Carrier the odd game, keeping Hudson on the right side. That would have been my choice, and kind of rotate Carrier, Struble, and Jack-Eye coming out of the lineup, and have Reinbacher in there. But I guess they feel that Carrier is still playing well enough that, despite his goal differential being at the very bottom of the NHL standings, that he's He's a veteran presence that is going to be better than Reinbacher for the club right now. But anyway, Johnny's always glad I'm on. Well, Johnny, I'm always glad that you show up. I really appreciate it. Who is McKenna projected to play with? Well, whoever it is, it's going to be it's going to be a good line. I've seen, like it could be Lachenko, it could be, I don't know. I'd need to see the list in front of me, but there's a lot of good possibilities. The top line, I mean, that's another thing too. Montreal, Canada's top line at the World Junior is going to be uber talented and even more talented than the line he plays with in Penn State. And they aren't going to be playing against men. It'll be against kids his age, a little older. I think McKenna, he had 1 point last tournament. I think he'll be in double digits this time around. Fowler will give the team a much needed shot in the arm or predict a win. We really need the 2 points. Yes. I'm going to stop reading the Jack Guy comments. I think we'll just move on from that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why so many people are. Maybe if he was winning some fights, I'd understand it a little bit more. But I don't know. Guys still want a scrapper in there. I get it. I'm worried Hage won't be a true center, and this team won't be a contender until they fill the 2C role. Yeah. Well, Aaron, they have filled the 2C role. Geez, we're getting. Yeah. Oliver Kapanen is a fine second line center already at 22 years of age. It's filled, in my opinion. I appreciate you. I appreciate the comment. Yeah. The Rocket were up 3-0 last night. Lost to the Marlies. Hey, at least they got a point out of it. I would. Yes, Sheldon. That's where I agree. We need a 3C. Yes. Maybe that's Kirby Doc, right? Kirby, I think, fortified correctly, with good line mates in the 3C spot. His what was his face-off percentage so far this year? It was up, was it not? I'm just going to double check here. But I think he's been improving that aspect of his game. I'll just quickly verify that. Face-offs up to 43%. That's viable, 42 plus is, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's acceptable if you're bringing lots of other things, and if you can get someone who can take draws on the strong side, they're better, this and that, as long as he has some help in that regard. But Kirby's going to be back soon. And I think if they don't get pick somebody up over the next few weeks before Kirby's back, let's see how he's looking. I thought his game was coming around. He was scoring goals, right? I think probably goals per game. He's second on the club this year. So I think Doc can be the third line center and contribute offensively. And then you get back Newhook, throw Bolduc or whoever on the other side, and I think you've got an above average third line. They need to get back some injured players here. The more I watch Captain, the more I find appreciation for his game. He does a lot of things that go unnoticed. Yeah. Can't disagree with you there. since we're keeping 3 goalies, do you think they will rotate the substitutes? Should Fowler have a couple of games? Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to play it game by game here. If Fowler looks good, they'll make a move, I think. Fowler has 2 good games in a row here. He and that's a good point by Francois. I'll get to in a sec here too. But I think if Fowler looks good, they'll probably move Dovish down, send Dovish down, and keep Monty and Fowler for now, and put Dovish down to Laval is what I figure will happen if Fowler looks good. If he doesn't look any better, they'll send him back down, unfortunately. Like Francois was saying, and yes, that's right. He, his face-offs were trending up. He had been at least 50% his last 10 matches or so, and he was starting to score goals too. So here's hoping that trend continues when he comes back, because the Canadians need Kirby Dach. They need him back in the lineup. It's been a noticeable void. It's nice to have a 6'4" center that can score, that can contribute some offensively, who, when he is in shape, and I think he's in better shape this year, can be an effective defensive center as well. You think, Aaron, you think that Dylan Cousins is better than Oliver Kapanen? Ooh, boy. Respectfully disagree. Dovish needs to play. They can't wait too long with 3 goalies. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Dylan Cousins is not better than Oliver Kapanen right now. I don't believe that. He's not nearly as good away from the puck, as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, he's 25, 26. Where's the upside? Or 24, is he? I don't know. There's a reason why he got traded by Buffalo for a player that's always injured. They'd seen enough of him. Minus 13, the plus minus this year for Mr. Dylan Cousins. And that's playing with a really good top 9. Like, he's had good line mates all year. You look at all of their forwards here. Minus 3, minus 2, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6. Nobody, their worst other forward plus minus is minus is Eller at minus 6, and then you've got Dylan Cousins minus 13. Not a huge proponent of plus minus unless it really stands out, and that really stands out. He's not near the defensive 2-way player that Oliver Kapanen is. Aaron, H, Kapanen, Demidov would be insane to watch. Yeah, I think Slav, Kapanen, Demidov, insane to watch. I'm excited to see this tonight. I hope Bolduc can get rolling with those two. I don't mind the mindset of this, Texier, Beck, Anderson. I don't know, that'll that'll be an interesting line to watch. Davidson, geez, he almost had his first the other night, right? He was pretty good. Yeah, but Cousins is not Cousins, he plays small. He really does. No, I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I'm not on board with the Cousins love. Yeah. Slav Cappy Demi. Good line. Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing that trio again tonight. I guess they're 63 years old now, right? Happy birthday to Ivan Demidov yesterday. Turned the big 2-0. He's an adult now. So I hope honestly haven't been crazy about Demi's game the last few, but I think he now that he's a full-fledged adult, look out. If Bolduc doesn't find his game with the first line, then what happens with him? As far as he goes, he is still eligible to go to Laval without going on waivers. Yeah, I don't see them sending him to Laval. He's not killing the team out there. Yeah, Cappy's I don't know, some of the expected goals and stuff like that haven't been great. Mind you, the last 2 games he led the Habs in that department, so the numbers are probably starting to turn around a bit in that regard, but guys like Kapanen, when you're really good defensively, there's not always stats for that, right? I don't know. You can watch the expected goals in a game sometimes and you think, what the hell are these guys watching? Like Arbor Jackey's got the best expected goals, in the game, or Struble, or I don't know. Sometimes the stats don't seem to jibe with what you're watching, right? Texe, Beck, and Anderson line will get less than 10 minutes at even strength. Do you think that? Yeah, maybe. Do you think they'll get less time than Veleno, Gallagher, Davidson? Maybe. It's kind of like 2 fourth lines right now. That's kind of the problem, right? You got 2 legitimate top lines, and then that's it. 2 fourths. As Guy Lafleur used to say, you got four fourth lines out there. Yeah, I mean, I do look at analytics a bit, but they can also be deceiving, I mean, hey, all you have to do is watch Kapanen and he's playing well. I don't need stats to tell me otherwise. I'm sorry. Beck can be hard to play against. He's very good on face-offs. I hope he can run with the opportunity this time. Yeah, this is his chance, isn't it? It's his chance to shine. I like that he's getting another look. I think he's an NHL player. Right now, the bottom 6 for the Canadians, he should be in it. So he's got more offensive upside than some of the guys that are some of the other guys. Like, you've seen the stats lately, right? All of the bottom 6 guys have like no goals. They haven't been scoring at all. And so it's hey, Aaron, thanks that I'm glad that you can take disagreement. We keep it civil, right? And we're not always going to agree, but I will read comments that I disagree with, and I will say that I disagree with. But as long as we don't get too wrapped up in it and get called drunk has-been or something like that, then it's all good, right? Like that twit the other night. Huge storm here. Yeah, we're getting a bit of snow. didn't actually get as much as I'd hoped, and it's too friggin' windy to go skiing today. So lucky for you guys, I did a podcast instead. Why Engstrom and not Braden? That's a new name. Thank you. Thank you for stopping over. By the way, folks, press like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching this on X and over 600R, come on over, click like and subscribe if you like what you've been watching. Even if you don't, it'd be great. I'm I don't know, 28. I need 28 more subscribers to get to 4,000. So I'm up in the 3,970 some. So I'm going to put a push on this weekend. I hope by Sunday to be crack the 4K mark on the subscriptions. Hey, for whatever reasons, YouTube, the algorithm likes if you subscribe. So just asking a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't, YouTube doesn't take your personal info and all you got to do is hit subscribe. It doesn't affect you in any way other than just needing to click a little button that says subscribe. And if you do, I would really appreciate it. Central Quebec. Okay. Do I see a trade coming for Christmas? Well, I don't know. The longer this goes, they brought up Beck, and Doc's not far away, which they're giving Davidson a look. So the longer this goes, the less I think maybe that they are going to make a trade. I still, I'd be kicking the tires on Stamkos, but I guess nobody's offering Nashville what they want, or they would have pulled the trigger by now, I think. So there may not be a deal. It will depend. If the Canadians lose like the next 3 in a row or something like that, the slide continues, then it's more likely that they'll consider it, because they want to stay in the race here. They don't want to have to jump like 6 teams to get in the playoffs, because then it becomes difficult, even if it is only a few points. I feel like Fowler starting tonight has all the fans excited again. I know I am. Yeah, it's always exciting when there's a new kid in town, eh? Hopefully he's not a Johnny come lately. Some of you might get that reference. I like advanced analytics, but they're still in an evolution phase. Monty Puck still modifies its algorithms yearly. Can be used to raise a few flags, but you still need to watch the games. Oh, yeah. What I don't like about some of the analytics guys is where they'll put up their charts and make conclusions just based on the numbers, right? And not utilizing the eye test as well. And that to me is just presumptuous, and it's wrong. I still believe that what you see is still the most pertinent thing, but you can supplement it with analytics as well. When will Montreal make it back to the Stanley Cup Finals? Oh, I don't know. Maybe sometime in the next 3 years. I think that they're going to be contenders in the East starting this year. They can keep things afloat till guys get back. If Fowler's the answer in net, they can keep things afloat till Doc's back, and then they get the other Goalie back. Goalie, how much longer for Goalie? Are we looking at 2 months more? Suzuki and Crosby head to head. Yeah, that'll be fun. We had a trade for Carrier basically 1 year ago. Yeah. And Kent Hughes isn't afraid to make a trade during the season. There are some GMs that don't seem to do that, so you never know. I could not take any more Monty Doby combo. Fowler got me pumped for tonight. Hallelujah, Pierre. I hear you, my friend. All right. Pens have lost change. Likely want to keep Crosby away from. Yeah, probably end up being Cappy, Slav, and Demidov up against him quite a bit. But you know what? I like that. I like that line defensively. They've already shown some promising things. You can't often say that about three players under the age of 23 playing on a line together. But those three are a good line away from the puck. So normally I wouldn't say, oh yeah, 3 guys under the age of 23 up against Crosby, but these 3 are pretty special, I think, when it comes to that. Do you think that Anderson and Galley will be traded before the contracts run out? I don't know. It's kind of hard to trade Galley, eh? But and who's going to want him at that price? It's hard to say. I don't know. Like, it's unlikely, I think. And Anderson, I mean, there's still things that he brings to the table that, even though he's friggin' inconsistent, doesn't get a pile of goals, pile of points, assists, there's still a need for that. When he is revving, he's a much needed piece in Montreal's lineup. Kills penalties, hits, forechecks pretty hard. Yeah, can be pretty solid on the back check. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know that Anderson's going to get dealt, and he's a good locker room guy too, just a great guy. So we'll see. Ed, yeah, I caught that. Ed, I haven't had a chance yet to add you. Just been going since I got up. Wanted to get the I put 2 videos together. I got to do graphics too all the time, for the videos and for I had to do up a couple of graphics, and I haven't had time to add you yet, but I did see your email. And Red, know that you're a boomer like me, although I'm the last year of boomer, so I'm on the cusp, right? But yeah, I got your email, and I will send you. By the way, Ed just is my most recent subscriber on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you will get a free subscription to my Patreon page, and I'm going to get up some more. I've got a Logan Sawyer video that I got to get put up the next couple of days, and I will get some more videos up on Patreon. Sheldon, yeah, I need your email, my friend. I can't just add you to the Patreon. You gotta send me your email, unless you already have, or whatever. But that's why I'll keep asking people, like, just send me an email, and then I'll send you back the link. Grant at HabsCast.ca. Yeah, okay. Pretty sure I already sent you a gift, but I'll double check on that, Sheldon. Maybe I didn't. Just a second here. Promotions. I'm going to double check here. Sheldon, you never. I sent you a friggin' link, Sheldon, and you never redeemed it. So I was wondering why you never did. I will send it back again. But if you check your emails, Sheldon, you got a gift subscription months ago now, and you never redeemed it. Okay. MSL should keep the top 6 exactly as it is for a while. Bolduc needs stability, and Slav needs Demi and Cappy. Yeah, well, I don't mind that. The Eagles. I got it, Grant. Yep. One of these nights, you're going to get it. We're going to see Olympic Slav Koski tonight. He seems to bring another gear with Cappy and Demi. I hope so. He wants the puck more, it seems like, eh? Yeah. All right, folks. Hour 46 here. That's long enough. I got to keep my voice a little bit for tonight. And thanks as always for tuning in. We will hopefully be celebrating a Habs victory tonight. I appreciate, yes, Tyler Thorpe. I meant to mention that when somebody said about the, blowing a 3-goal lead. They did get a point, and more importantly, Tyler Thorpe 3 assists, doubled his assist total on the year. I did a show or a video on Thorpe last week, and I think that he's just starting to scratch the surface there. Well, I didn't do a video. I ranked him in my top 10. I think he was 8 or whatever, top 10 Habs prospects, and suggested that he's, he turned 20 in the late summer. Just give him some time, getting adjusted. I bet you in the second half of this season, Thorpe just keeps improving and improving. Okay, so after I do think that he's our future fourth line winger for sure. Yep. Jacky, Thorpe, and Papanicus. Thunderline. All right, folks. That's it for now. I'll be here after the game. Tune in. We'll have some fun. Hopefully talking about 35 save superlative per rookie debut by Mr. Jacob Fowler. All right, that's it for now, folks. Thank you. We'll see you tonight.